For a generation schooled in the folk tradition of the East Coast, the Byrds' artistically credible but commercially successful pop opened up a whole new world in which the singer-songwriter reigned supreme. Musical life in Los Angeles would never be the same again, and a small stretch of Hollywood became the only place to be.
The Sunset Strip is just this bizarre anomaly, physically part of the city, but politically unincorporated, and from the 30s and 50s, essentially governed by the mob. By the early 60s, the Strip was in decline. And so what happened is that the folk rock scene inherited what was the ruins of the glamorous Strip of the 1930s and 40s. A place where the musicians and songwriters really felt they could be most in touch with the kids who represented the shape of things to come.
All these kids would come, and they'd be underage kids, you know, wearing bell-bottoms, you know, and beads and flowers and all that stuff. There was this flowering, you know, of feeling and reverence for life, like a carnival midway. And so the music scene was happening, you know, right in the middle of all of that.
There was a magical quality to it. We suddenly found ourselves in the center of a vortex. Somehow, music became a medium for an entire generation.
There was a genuine feeling that the collective values of the Woodstock generation might change the world. By the end of the year, that optimism would be all but shattered.
The assassinations of Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy so shook our world in America. But in '69, Charles Manson visited Los Angeles, and that changed the entirety forever.
The Manson family has become the most notorious of hippie groups.
The police said they were a pseudo-religious cult. People who worked on the ranch said they were heavy users of drugs.
You know, we went horseback riding out there at that farm. We knew some of the people. It was just terrifying.
Among his followers, members of the family, Manson is regarded as a saint. Many called him Jesus.
It was the commune gone wrong, wasn't it?
I don't have any community. I don't have any guilt. I know what I've done, and no man can judge me. I judge me.
What have you done, Charlie?
This crazed, misguided, drug-driven cultism, Satanism, touched the irrationality of the very thing that sustained flower power, and that was this sense of unbridled optimism and social integration and trust and so forth. And all of that was shattered. It was like the snake that came into the garden.
The Manson gang's killing spree shamed and terrorized LA's alternative artistic community, of which he'd been a well-known, if barely tolerated, presence. And 3 months later, at a free Rolling Stones concert at Altamont near San Francisco, the counterculture was dealt another devastating blow.
It was crazy, man. The Hells Angels were the security. They were all drinking cheap red wine. You know, they were all loaded on PCP and acid. And it got really ugly.
That means everybody just flew out. When you flew out, everybody.
Altamont's defining moment was the murder of an audience member called Meredith Hunter by a Hells Angels gang member.
People have been killed inside of the stage, you know, while the Stones sing Sympathy for the Devil. And everybody went, this is a little not okay.